And then Michael Stephen, as you mentioned earlier on, Matt.
Story of the season to see if he can actually hold this championship together. One place behind him in the championship, and that's AJ van der Linden, the BMW, with Graham Nathan, who is obviously leading this championship by a big chunk. Gavin Cunha, he needs all the points he can get his hands on.
What's going to unfold in this day? We are back at Kyalami for the second time this season. This is the final round of the Bridgestone production cars. Champions will be crowned.
On this show, we head to Kyalami for the final round of the Bridgestone production cars and the Super Series. With both Class T and Class A's championship up for grabs, we're in for some fantastic action.
For more information on our racing series, log into www.spcc.co.za or tag us on Facebook and Twitter.
Heading into the final round, Michael Stephen in Class A basically had one hand on the trophy, and it was up to Gavin Cunha to try and catch the Class T championship and Graham Nathan's lead.
This is it. The final round.
This is the final round of the season, and here at Kyalami, the champions will be crowned. The season of many ups and downs has turned into a two-horse race in both classes. In Class A, eight-time South African champion Michael Stephen is leading the pack. He could have wrapped the championship up at the last round, but his competition was tough and did not give an inch. He has powered his way through the season, leading after every round, and this is the machine he has done it in. The Engine Extreme Audi S4, prepared by Terry Moss Racing, powered by the 3-litre supercharged engine with Audi's legendary Quattro. 31 points behind, but still a chance of stealing the championship, is Etienne van der Linden, 3-time South African champion, 2 times international champion, and the van der Linden legacy says that he will not stop chasing until the last lap is complete. Etienne has racked up the most fastest laps for the season, and this shows he has pace. With only one DNF, he's been hot on the heels of Stephen, and will this be the round where he makes it count and takes the championship lead and victory? Driving the Afrox and Pertec F30 BMW 335i, prepared by ADF Motorsport, powered by a 3-litre inline 6-cylinder with a twin-scroll turbo. He has the power and the talent. One thing for sure, it's not over until the checkered flag drops. We also can't forget the other drivers in the class. They might not be fighting for the ultimate prize, but the podium is still in sight. Johan, Gennaro, Melville, Chops and Henny will give it their all to keep their pride in check. They will be fighting for every last point to finish higher up the table. In Class T, it's a bit closer. Nathan has taken a 25-point lead over Cronje. The gap on paper looks large, but the season has been a nail-biter, with both competitors swapping positions at the top. Nathan already has 3 production car titles behind his name, but could this be the first time he has done it back-to-back? The gentle giant knows what he needs to do, and yes, he would love to take it with victories. But points in the bag will be his main focus. He will not take any risky moves to jeopardize this one. The Indy Oil Golf GTI 6 is on form, and the 2-litre turbocharged VW is the weapon of choice. Cronje has a lot to do, and he needs to take back points by finishing ahead of Nathan at every opportunity to have any chance. And as we know, he has aggression on his side. He will take the dive if the gap arises, and this will make the final round all the more exciting. Driving the smaller 1.6-litre turbocharged Castro Mini, he will be the underdog, but we all know he can bite. Other drivers in the class looking to set the cat amongst the pigeons will have their sights locked and loaded to change the plans of the top two. All highly acclaimed, battles between themselves and points to prove. Jobert, Vermato, Thompson, Van Rooyen, Robertson, Duminy and Cooper all have come to give it their all. The track is going to be blazing. The stage is set. The drivers know what they need to do. This is going to be world-class racing in the final round of the Bridgestone production cars. Let's get to qualifying.
A very important aspect at Kyalami, and you can see just how hard the BMWs were pushing. Van der Linde, the man who had to do it all today, unfortunately only down in 4th place. Subaru absolutely flying around Kyalami, but not as quick as the second of the Acrox BMWs, Johan Faree. At the front end, though, Melville Priest put in a stonker, and he put it on pole position for Class A.
Class D qualifying, and the man who was in the pound seats was Graham Nathan. Has been a ding-dong battle between him and the Castrol Minis, but in the mix, as always, is Gary Formato in the Ford. A much better turnout in qualifying, went really well for them. They look quick. But the man who was chasing the championship was Gavin Cronje, the Ginger Ninja. Could he make a difference into that gap of Graham Nathan? One wouldn't think so, but one never knows.
Confirmation of the qualifying on the front row, Melville Priest and Johan Faree. It's Audi versus BMW. Then the Subaru, and pushing hard from the back end in 4th place, Etienne van der Linde.
Michael Steven, the reigning champion. Then next to him is Gennaro Bonafide with Chop Sapuka just at the back of the field.
Overboosting in the qualifying, put the 2 minis at the back end of the field, handing Gary Formato and Graham Nathan the front row for Class T. Michael Van Rooyen and Jacques Joubert right on their tail.
Sean Duminy in the Ford, and next to him is Devin Robertson in the Megane, Lee Thompson and Cronje making their day very difficult starting from the back, and then Ryan Cooper in the GTI. Absolutely the quickest and a flying lap here. Impressive time. Delighted, I suppose, with the last race, but maybe a little too late.
Yeah, look, it's a little too late, but, we've had a quick car for the last 4 races, and we just have been unlucky with engine breakage and stuff like that. I think in Cape Town we showed a similar pace where we were the quickest car, so certainly for us, it's what we expected to be on pole, so happy, for the team.
Well, at least you won't be looking at Michael Stevens' bumper in the first race.
Yeah, I spent the first half of the year doing that, but the second half of the year has been good for us when we managed to stay on track.
Kenny Groenewald, 3rd quickest in qualifying. It will be a nice way to kind of say goodbye to the season with a win or 2 under the belt, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're happy with 3rd, considering we had a difficult Friday. We were off the pace yesterday, so we've got the car closer to the front. We were hoping to set the pace here. The Subaru has been very suited to Kyalami. But yeah, hopefully, we can make some changes to assist us to get the car a little bit forward on the grid.
Standing here with the reigning champion and hoping to create history sometime today by winning 3 production car championships in a row. Of course, it hasn't started off quite the way you hoped in qualifying.
Yeah, it's not nice when it starts this way, but, rather in qualifying than during the race. We had a small issue with the brakes. Unforeseen, and, nothing anyone could have done about it. So it's one of those things, but we've sorted it out for the race, and we'll go out and, still do our best.
Wow. Nothing's much has changed, but there you are, 3rd quickest.
No, that's right. Our car is exactly how it was, apart from the normal sort of settings that you do for racing at altitude, and it's got to commend the new technical team for enforcing and running things properly. I mean, it just shows you what can be done. I mean, it's not that you have to be on pole or win every race, but I think you need to know that you're at least in the game, and I think we are today.
Does it bring a sense of confidence?
Well, I think it's a sense of confidence in terms of what we've done on our car and how we've worked on our car and how we prepare our car. The team were quite dejected in Cape Town, obviously, for obvious reasons. And, it just shows that we are doing a decent job, subject to, contrary to what everybody's saying.
Well, today is today, and the racing is about today. But where did it go wrong for you and the team back in the season?
Look, I think the last 2 rounds we had some niggles, and that really put pay to it. We had a lead in the championship, and that sort of just diminished over 2 rounds. But this game, anything can happen. So we're not going to stop until the last race, the checkered flag comes out.
27 points behind in Class T, but here we go with the Class A's across the line for the first time here at Kyalami at the final round. So it's all going to be sorted out today, Steve, as we go on board with Etienne van der Linde, looking at his teammate and looking at the man that was quite phenomenal in qualifying. And it looks like the only car to get into the 47s in that qualifying session. And look at that. It looks like he might even get the whole shot. No, he's not. The BM is going to squeeze him out into turn 1.
Melville Priest, one of the cars to watch, and he's starting to get better and quicker. We've seen that in the last 3 races, and no longer on the tailpiece of Michael Stephen. But the BMWs are the package to watch here today, so watch out for that.
Devin Robertson looking pretty tasty as well in the Big Boss Auto Renault as he comes sneaking up on the back end, and he's already up into 4th place, so also getting a super start there in the Renault. In the background, you can see they're starting to close onto the back end of Class A, and the BMW at the front is pulling away, and Melville Priest realizes that, goes on the inside of the Subaru, and he's going to have to work hard to try and find a way past Henny G. Henny G is superb here at Kyalami.
Well, he loves it out of Sunset. He gets that drive and into Clubhouse as they look forward to the 2 S's. But, man, he just gets it in front of Melville Priest. Great move. He closes the door on him, but Priest is not finished with this one.
No, he's not. Michael Stephen is already starting to put the pressure on behind, but here comes pressure as well. Look at that. Saw one of the minis. I think that might have been Lee Thompson just sneaking through, trying to find a way into the top 4 as the Class A competitors head up towards the top of the hill for the first time. Onto the braking markers. We're on board with Michael Stephen. He closes right up on Henny G. Round the outside, using that Quattro system, trying to get drive is Melville Priest. And it looks like the Olens man is not holding back here at all. And he goes side by side with the leading BMW. That's going to take some big cojones going through the bowl.
And what our viewers can't see by these pictures, how quickly they come down this hill. And look at that little drifting as well. There's into the bowl. And of course, they've got some really interesting maneuvers here. Hard on the brakes. Henny G. And look at him. Melville Priest, side by side, as you said. He's like a dog with a bone. He's not letting go on this. But Van der Linde knows he's got to charge because here comes Henny.
And they just all slotted into the train there and just made it in. Now they come onto the braking markers for the final corner. Absolutely brilliant stuff. It's 2 Audis side by side. Melville Priest has been forced wide. Michael Stephen on the inside is not going to try and get the drive on Henny G. Wow, this is brilliant stuff. And Gennaro's come to play as well. So we've got 3 Audis. In fact, 4 Audis, because just behind them is Chops, and Subaru Power is in 2nd place, managing just to keep the Audis out. Wow, 4-wheel drifting there from Priest.
Man, look at these shots. You get a really true reflection of how quick these cars are. So, Michael Stephen under pressure. Priest is not letting go, and as you say, Bonafide wants a piece of this as well. But let's not forget, who's in front? Johan Ferrari, the man who wants race wins under his belt.
Yeah, he wants to take the final blood of the season, that's for sure, and he's getting away and taking Henny G for a ride. The 4 Audis battling it out with the 2nd BMW of Etienne van der Linde. Now remember, van der Linde is the most important factor here in terms of Stephen. And Michael Stephen right now doing everything right, although he's losing positions to the other 2 Audis, and it looks like he might be slowing. Yes, indeed, he is under immense trouble there. Look at that, up the inside of both Chop Sapuka and Michael Stephen, and now in between the 2 of them was Etienne van der Linde, his closest championship rival.
Man, talk about Murphy's Law and how bad luck can change in a heartbeat. Is this going to be a terminal problem for him? Man, he must be so nervous in that cockpit. You can lose this mathematically in the championship. And van der Linde, if there's problems with that car, as you say there is, and it looks like there is, right now under pressure from the BMW, the Pertic BMW, and squeezed before that is Chop Sapuka. So he's going on the inside of the BMW, and we're down the mine shaft for more action.
Well, Michael Stephen's just thinking to himself, thank goodness I've got Chop Sapuka with me, because he is hassling van der Linde and making my life, well, I say, a little easier. But you can see Michael pulled out of the way there and let them through. There must be a problem here on the Audi. You will not see Michael Stephen, a man who's won in every single championship he's participated in, an SA title. And for him to fall back into the clutches of now Gary Formato, who leads our Class T, means there's something wrong on that Audi.
Well, you have to also think about this as well, Greg, because Michael Stephen in this championship, if there is a problem with that car, there is an escape route for him in the form of Chop Sapuka. I don't know if it'll come to that, but there is that option.
Yeah, he's using his teammate to very good effect here, which unfortunately Etienne van der Linde is not able to do because Ferrari is miles ahead of them. Look at that. Michael is waving Gary through. He's waving Nate through. So there is definitely something wrong there. He's going to circulate and try and get as many points as possible in the bag. Here we go on board with Michael van Rooyen, the Chevy Cruze. Williams Hunt in the house and flying past the Engine Extreme Audi. Onto the braking markers at the top of the hill. You can see the Cruze, unfortunately, not able to run quite with the pace of that ST Focus or the GTI 6. But in the background, he's being hassled. That's why, because the Renault is right there with him.
Wow, look how quick Gary Formato is at the moment in this Ford. It's nice to see a little bit of pace here at Kyalami from that car. Michael van Rooyen has had a troubled season. I mean, it'll be a season that he probably would like to put behind him and look forward to 2014.
Oh, speaking of putting behind, here is a major problem. Into pit lane, that's Thompson, not Cronier. Thank goodness for that, because the championship still remains open now between Nathan and Cronier. But looking at the way things stand, we're on board with 4th place, the Big Boss Auto Liqui Moly Renault. 5th place is Juba, and look at that behind him. That is only where the Junior Ninja fits in for the first time. 5th place is not good enough, Gav.
So the Fords in the lead right now and trying to keep at bay Graham Nathan, who wants this championship. He wants wins. Man, this will be incredible. It'll be 2 championships back-to-back because he is the reigning champion. So incredible pressure right now bringing to Gary Formato. They've had a ding-dong battle for years and years, the usual protagonist. And there in the background is Michael van Rooyen. So how long can he keep Nathan at bay?
Well, Nathan and him, I think, are having a bit of fun out there. There's no doubt about it. It's good to see the Ford flying at the front for a change. Alliteration aside. Here we go. GTR 6 up the inside. And the Indy Oil, using the best, goes up the inside and gets past Formato. I'm not quite sure if Gary and him were playing around a little bit more than what they expected, but Formato is not too far off him and stays with him. Now they're going to have a bit of fun in games, that's for sure.
So in the background still, Michael van Rooyen trying to close that gap, and he's under pressure right now from the Renault Megane from Devon Robertson. Now we've seen spits and spurts of potential from that Megane all season. It just hasn't quite equated into points.
You know what? It's coming, and it's getting better and better every single time they get behind the wheel of that car. They're developing a second one, so I think when there's 2 cars on track, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to try and work out where things go right or go wrong. But here we go with Formato, who's had an upright and a little bit of wrong every now and again this season. He's not quite in the hunt for the championship, but he was in the hunt for the race win. And unfortunately, it's been lost now as Graham Nathan decides, you know what, I need to get away, get this win under the belt, take the pressure off me for race 2 and 3, and sort this championship out as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm just trying to do some mathematics in my head right now and counting what the gap is and has he claimed it right now. Let's not even worry about that. By race 2, he should have this under the belt. There's a man who's done really well this season, Ryan Cooper, in the old package GTI 5, and he's come from motorcycle racing, regional racing, and he's now mixing it up with the big boys, and he'll be the first to tell you he gets really nervous out there.
He's loving the fact that he's got pressure from the Ninja on the back end of him. That Castrol John Cooper Works Mini is all over the back of the right air conditioning machine as they head up to the top of the hill. Now, Cronier's going to go on the outside. Watch for the late apex that he cuts as he goes into the top of the hill here. And there it is. Very late apex, closes right on the bumper of that GTI 5. And just behind, in fact, look at the battle that's starting to rage there too. Jacques Joubert is feeling a bit of pressure from behind, and he's not quite done yet with Sean Duminy.
On board with the right air conditioning, Ryan Cooper, who we're missing on the right.
That was Devon Robertson. He's run wide. Devon's run wide into the bowl, and I'm not quite sure what went wrong with the car there, but unfortunately, it has dropped him right out of contention. We go back to the front end, and it looks like Henny Groenewald is going to try a drag race to the line. Is he going to be able to beat Jan Fourie? No, Fourie just hangs on to beat things out in Class A over Henny Groenewald. 3rd place going to Melville Priest and Gennaro Bonafide right on their tail.
Class T, the march continues. Centro Indy Old Back GTI Golf 6. Graham Nathan, the reigning champion, is going to take some massive points here. And could it be another championship? Formato in the Ford is 2nd, and just in the background right now, into view, here comes Michael van Rooyen, the pocket rocket in the Cruise. Finally, a podium position, Greg.
Yeah, super run there for the Williams Hunt Chevy Cruise. But here we go. The front end of race 1 is all about the Afrox Pertec BMW of Johan Fourie. And in Class T, well, it's the championship leader who extends his lead now over the man who was unfortunately not even able to get into the top 5. A super effort there from Graham Nathan. Gary Formato right on his tail.
Let's get confirmation of those results in race number 1. It's Johan Fourie in the Afrox Pertec BMW, Henny Groenewald in the Subaru, Melville Priest, Gennaro Bonafide, and Etienne van der Linde, another BMW.
Michael Steven and Chop Sapuka eventually finishing up, and Michael Steven finishing, that's very important. In Class T, Graham Nathan in the Indy Oil machine winning out over Gary Formato, Michael van Rooyen in the Williams Hunt Chevy. Then it was Ryan Cooper, his best finish of the season, ahead of Gavin Cronier, Jacques Joubert, Sean Duminy, and Devon Robertson, unfortunately with a problem right at the end of the race. Lee Thompson out with a DNF.
He had to drive the socks off this BMW. Well done on a race win, Johan.
No, awesome. Thanks very much. Again, just thank you to the team for giving me an awesome car and working very hard. But yeah, like you said, hard nights. Henny wasn't going to let me go, and like I told you, I was a bone and Henny was a dog at Swartkops. This time it pulled off because it was tight racing. Luckily, I got my advantage in certain places, and Henny is strong and on the tight stuff coming out. So I had to slow it down, just make sure I'm in second and make sure he's in race. I'm slowing the corner right down so he can't drive through me. And otherwise, just keeping it, but I had to work for it. It wasn't easy. I think we need to make a small adjustment in the car, but otherwise, we're ready to go. I'm enjoying it.
Now, the championship is at stake. We're going, has he calculated it in his head? He's not worried, he just wants to win.
It's all about winning. I want to go out there and try my best for my team. Whether or not it adds up to the end, at the end is a bonus to me and for the team. That's what we work towards. But yeah, I'm out there. I had a great race with Gary now. An absolute gentleman to race with, the master. He really, really drives nicely. And next year that car is going to be a big contender. But this year, this one is the GTR 6 is just doing whatever it needs to do. Just a massive thank you to Indy Oil. Without the backing of these corporate sponsors, we wouldn't be here. So all up to everybody who's helped us. Thank you very much, and let's go for the next race and see what we can do from the back of the grid.
Frantic action in the pits concerning Michael Stevens' car. A bit of a disappointment. Championships going for a third one. Michael, what was the problem?
Start of lap 2, coming out of the last corner, Johan was in front of Henny, and I think, you know, with the four-wheel drive, Henny had to back out of it, and I went into the back of Henny and put a hole in the radiator. So I circulated just to get some points. I've done a quick calculation. It looks like we've wrapped it up just by finishing, but the guys are trying to get the car ready for the next race so that we can get out there and, you know, make sure 100%.
I think Michael was a little over-eager in the first race, and I drove into the back of the Subaru, one of them. It was a passing maneuver that went wrong, I think on lap 2 or 3. Big hole in the radiator, all the water's leaked out, so we've had to do a car swap quickly. We've given him Chops' car, and we're trying to get his car ready for Chops. Fortunately, there's a grid walk out there that's holding up proceedings, and we're going to try and sneak Chops out as well. The possibility exists that he's going to be out there. We're going to try. You can see how far they are here now at the back. I think we'll be there. I'm actually just going to have a word to someone to slow things down, and just a little bit of tactics, delaying tactics.
Part of the tactics, of course, is the draw for the second race. And how many cars are going to be inverted, Mr. Nathan?
I think 10.
Oh, 6 of them. Well, it's going to be 6 cars inverted now for race 2, and it looks like all the hard work in the Engine Extreme Audi team has paid off. They've managed to get Michael Steven into Chops' car, which is pretty easy. Now they've got to work hard and hopefully get Chops back onto the grid. You can see them still frantically working in pit lane right now as we speak, and it looks like they might just be able to get it right.
So race number 2, Greg, and this is for all the money. It's a championship at stake. We don't know mathematically who's won it right now, but we still go racing, and everybody's got a point to prove. Now, here's the thing that we were talking about. Chops Sapuka, they've managed to get that car ready and back on. So, Stevens in Chops Sapuka's car. Chops is in Michael Stevens' car to get that car running. Remember, he won't be able to use that for the rest of the day.
And there he goes onto the track. So they've done a great job. Well done, Engine Extreme Audi team. Getting Chops onto the track, but he's way, way back. He's about 2 corners short of the rest of the field. And, of course, that's the back end of Class T. Right now at the front end of Class A, it is a BMW in the front again on his tail. Gennaro Bonafide, then Melville Priest, and Henny G. The Mini leads out into Clubhouse for the first time. And right on their tail, looks like that might be Jacques Joubert. Yes, indeed. So it's Cronje, Joubert, then looks like that's Formato. And then an awesome drive again from Cooper.
Well, he's really in the mix. Oh, he got a tap. He got a tap. And he saved it. Brilliant. Well done, Ryan.
Michael Van Rooyen just giving him a little welcome tap to the front end of this field. He had Cooper on his tail all race long in the closing stages of race 1. He's now behind him. So he's feeling the effects a little bit, I think, of what Ryan Cooper had all race long in that first one.
Well, another thing to consider here, Greg, and let's give him some kudos, because this is the first time that Ryan Cooper has been out in this Golf GTI 5 at Kyalami for the first time.
Yes, indeed. So a super effort there from him. Gennaro Bonafide, though, doing a super job here in the Ferrodo Racing Audi S4, keeping out the Mueller Power Sports machine as they come out of the bowl. Now heading down towards treacherous turn 13. This is where things can get a little bit out of shape, especially if you're side by side and put your wheels on the dirt. Thanks very much. Perfect timing there. I couldn't ask for better. That was super stuff. No commentator's curse there, bud.
Absolutely. I've got it. No, I haven't.
Yeah. 2 wheels normally works better than 4 through that corner, according to Etienne van der Linde.
Bonafide right now, we're on board with him, and behind him is Melville Priest. Now, Vito Bonafide will be scratching his head, because we know that they've had pace all season long, and it hasn't equated into points. On board right now, Etienne van der Linde is certainly charging.
Did you see that Subaru? Thank goodness he's got all-wheel drive, because Henny G was on the dirt and on the very, very loose kitty litter there. How he managed to keep that all together, only he knows. And Michael Stevens saw it happening, going, okay, I'm in my spare car here, which is, of course, my teammate's machine. I'm not quite used to the setup. It's not exactly the way that my car is, but you know what? I only need about 2 points to wrap this up, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here, sitting in 5th place on the road.
Yeah, absolutely crucial. You'll know that Chops Sapuka's car by the red wing mirrors at the moment, so he is just quite confident right now. But you know what? Michael is a racing driver. He wants to go out there and win. He won't be happy sitting there, but he'll know it might be enough.
And you know what, Steve? The other thing to take into account is these race racing for this win. He's not holding back and saying, you know what, I've got this in the bag. He's still pushing that car to its limit and probably pushing it a little bit harder than what Chops would be. He's probably thinking to himself, come on, Chops, if I can get these kind of race times, so can you. Now the pressure's on from behind, as you see Ferrari starting to itch his way to the front end. Looks like in the background, Germany also putting some pressure on. And in that mid-pack of Class T, you can see things are definitely heating up. This is Graham Nathan on his teammate, and having a look up the inside of the Stiglet makes it easily through there and closes into the back end of Formato.
Very easy, in fact, but, there's a championship and it's a team game, but Nathan will be the first to tell you that young Jack Jabeur has had an astonishing season. Out of his debut season, which was last year, he really is and looks the part.
Looking like he could even be threatening the front end. T22, we're on board with him right now, the Stiglet. You can see why we call him the Stiglet. He's got that awesome Simpson diamond back helmet on. Very Stig-like as he heads into turn 13 on the back end of his teammate. It's GTIs in full flight there. Then the second of the minis, Sean Germany, not quite on pace. Oh,
hello.
Is that Thompson? Thompson is out.
No, that could be Cronier.
That could be Cronier.
That could be Cronier.
It is Cronier. Cronier is out. Wow, what a turn up for the books here. He said at the beginning of the race day and on our interview with him that things could definitely change up here. I didn't think he expected that car to go bang.
Now let's have a look. I mean, they got penalised from a technical infringement in the very first race. They were put at the back, both of those two minis. We saw Thompson disappear in the first and now Cronier in the second. Has that infringement now caught up with him in race 2?
There's a good possibility it has. Speaking of catching up, here comes a little tap from the Mueller sports machine and puts Gennaro onto the dirt. Quattro in the house and using it to full effect on the inside. Wow, 3x3. You can get 3 cars through turn 14 apparently. Maybe even 4, because Michael Stephen thinks, yeah, we can get 4 through there.
So Henny Grunewald still in the mix, and they want to finish this season on a high. They've been really competitive at times throughout the entire season. Various tracks suit this car. Kyalami, he always does well here. But the front end of Class T, this is where some really dodgy action is happening. And there, side by side, Formato, Nathan again.
Nathan going for the lead of the race and also going to maybe wrap up this championship after race 2. They go side by side into turn 1. In a Class T car that's probably at about 220 kilometers an hour. That is some pretty impressive front-wheel drive action. And look at the two of them sliding. Wow, Formato hangs onto the outside. Here comes Chops. I was about to say he's starting to make his way through the field in the second of the S4s, and he comes up the inside of Graham Nathan. Now Nathan hopefully will use that car to good effect to see if he can get past Formato.
You can see the disparity in power between Class T and Class A. I mean, Chops is just flying, and he's also driving a car that's not set up for him.
Yeah, exactly that. That's the one major factor you've got to take into account. Look at the pressure being put on here by Grunewald though. Melville Priest, the fastest man in qualifying, is now starting to feel the effects of what race pace is all about. And speaking of race pace, Formato's found some, that is for sure. He's keeping Chops and Puka behind him. How much longer can he do that? I think this little squirt along the straight might allow Chops through. Will he allow him into the S's? I think they'll probably give it up. Yes, he does. And here comes Graham. Graham is now going to use that advantage. Look at him, very early onto the apex, cuts the apex late again into the S's in the second part, and now heads up the hill. He's on the back end, looking for a way past that ST.
Do you think it's all the vibration and suspension that's making his head bob, or do you think he's listening to AC/DC?
Back in black, I think he's got going there full time, but he's looking for a way past, that is for sure. And if he gets past, remember, there's a good possibility that another win in the bag with Cronier parked in the pit lane could secure him this title. That'll be 3 in a row.
In fact, I think you're right on the money. I think that's a championship in the making right here, and we've got a couple of more laps to go in race number 2. But some action thick and fast, and the BMWs have been really strong all year. If they could have just strung it all together on a consistent basis, they would be really right at the front end of this championship.
Well, look at where they are right now. They're at the front end of the race, and that's the gap they've got over second place. Henny Grunewald looking for a way to get past Melville Priest. He hasn't found it. He's got pressure coming from Ferrari. Then you got Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen in 5th place on the road right now, also looking to wrap things up here. And here comes the pressure. Wow, awesome stuff here. GTI versus ST. And it's Volkswagen versus Ford, and there's the drive from Nate. I think this might be enough. He's going to go side by side with Formato. You can just see on the left wing mirror there, T21. That is the possibility of a new champion heading into turn 1 as he takes the lead and gets past Formato.
Yeah, he had to go on the outside.
Drew's gone with him. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
The Stiglet goes around the outside. There's a problem on the Ford. Definitely on the Ford there. I didn't expect that kind of maneuver.
No.
It was pretty impressive from Jacques Joubert, but that was because of the fact that, unfortunately, that ST has given up the ghost here for race 2.
I wonder what that problem is. I mean, they've had those kind of niggles all season long. But here's a battle. Great. Melville Priest. And we've seen a surge in his performance and the car. And they've switched to Vic Maharaj, the consultant, and it's made all the difference in their performance. And you can see it, Melville Priest. Now, there is some rumours that might be his swan song in this production car series. And we will probably not see him in 2014. We'll try and get some more info on that.
Can you believe the action between that Subaru and the Audi, though, Steve? It was side by side, sliding through the S's. Side by side at the top of the hill, and now they go line astern into the bowl for the braking markers. This is the man they're all going to try and catch, though. Etienne van der Linde has done himself a huge amount of good here. Because remember the fact that Michael Steven is only in 5th place. Van der Linde had to go and take this victory, and he's done it perfectly.
Yeah, I just don't think it's enough. I think it's just a little bit, a bridge too short, really, right now. But a sterling drive, nevertheless, from the Afrox Pertec BMW. He'll take the race win. A great score for BMW. That's 1 and 2 on the day. 1 and 2, BMW. Again, Cape Town was awesome, and now Kyalami is proving to be the same.
Yeah, just over 5 seconds ahead of 2nd place, and it was Henny G that pipped them all to the line there. Brilliant driving. Now we've got the 2 GTIs in full flight, and in fact it's 3 GTIs, because Cooper is on the podium. Can you believe that? This is Nate coming around the corner. He's got the victory in the bag. This is awesome stuff. Indy Oil, 1 and 2 here. Jacques Joubert runs wide. Nate pulls to the sideline. In fact, he's slowing. I think he might
He's going to let him go.
He's letting Joubert through because Joubert is in with a hunt of catching Gary Formato. That is great team tactics from Graham Nathan.
Fantastic, brilliant stuff. So he won't mind, and I think he knows at the back of his mind he's got this 2013 championship all wrapped up. So a great race win. The Afrox Pertec BMW, Etienne van der Linde, has been a shining example of driver precision all season long. And so is the man in Class T, Graham Nathan. Outstanding, and could be the 2013 championship.
Confirmation of race results and confirmation of the title. Etienne van der Linde and Henny Groenewold taking 1st and 2nd. And a superb effort from Michael Steven to wrap up the 2013 title in Chop Sapuka's car. Brilliant stuff. And then confirmation of Class T Race 2 results. Jacques Joubert let through right at the end there by Graham Nathan, which will probably secure him 3rd place in the championship. But 2013's title, and 3 in a row as well, goes to Graham Nathan in the Indy Oil GTI.
The banner behind him says another level of excellence in race number 2. That was exactly a job well done.
Thank you. Yes, really, didn't have the greatest of qualifyings, and then in the first heat got boxed out going into turn 2, and all the Audis got past me, and then just running in close formation just sent the engine temp well over 100. So I was lacking a bit of power in the first race, but I think we made up for it in the second one.
We've watched him over the years with morbid curiosity, absolute gratification and awe, and he's done it once again. He is now confirmed again, a new champion again. Graham Nathan, the show. Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much. It was just an incredible achievement here. Indy Oil have been on board for a very short time, and this is the 9th South African championship that they've won. So all credit to Indy Oil. Without the backing of that bunch, it's just not possible. I know I'm not supposed to thank everybody, but this is my moment. Thank you to my entire team, Nathan's Motorsport, Dean, Chris, Peter, Steve Green, Mark Sachs, everybody involved with Nathan's Motorsport, Vic Maharaj, behind the scenes with regards to making this thing's life racing system in my motorcar work as well as it does. Ferodo brakes. But excuse me, I'm getting it all cocked up. But foremostly, thank you to VW South Africa. Thank you to VW Motorsport, Mike Rowe. Thank you, sir. That thing is just unbelievable. And it is annoying everybody out there at the moment.
First of all, Ryan, congratulations. Must be an awesome feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really happy with the results, and hopefully we can carry on year forth with even better results, huh?
In terms of driving out there with the boys, it's pretty intense, I'm sure.
It's nerve-wracking. The guys are so fast. One mistake, you fall back. So you really have to keep your cool and keep it on the gas all the time. Huh?
Straight after this, we'll try and keep it on the gas for you, Ryan Cooper, with the feature race. Join us after the break. down to the final race of the season. It's the feature race, double points up for grabs, but of course, those points really don't count now. It's who's going to take the final blood of 2013.
Yeah, it might be just down to a bit of pride, as they say. You know, you never know, but I think they'll have fun out there. I mean, the championship is done and it's dusted. We can't do anything more about it other than look forward to 2014, Greg.
We're looking forward to that is for sure. Graham Nathan and Michael Stephen have got the titles in the bag. Trophies are already in their respective pits. It's now time to go and do the last bit of fighting on the black stuff.
Second position is not too bad in the championship. Third is also not too bad. And we've seen Jack Jabeur come through the ranks, a debut season last year, and has done really well, and probably has made third position his championship this year.
One thing I'm going to say, Steve, I finished 10th in the company that these guys drive in. I can tell you that much. To be in the top 10 in production cars means you are the top 10 drivers in South Africa.
Gennaro Bonafide, well, looking back over his, we know this boy's quick. I mean, he's a likable youngster. He's got a great team behind him. Also, Vic Maharaj getting on board as a consultant. And they, as well as Michael van Rooyen in Class T, have done lots of improvement over the last quarter of the season.
I'll wait for 2014 and see what's going to unravel as we go and close off 2013 here at Kyalami. And the last bit of action on the day from Bridgestone Production Cars, world-class racing.
A pensive Dick Sorensen awaits what is going to truly be remarkable and nice end to the season. Round number 9 at Kyalami. And what a way to finish, Greg.
Oh, looking forward to this one, that is for sure. It's basically the final victory that's up for grabs here. Not really any worries about second, third, and fourth place, although they'll be fighting for those. But as they go down into turn 1, it's BMW yet again at the front end, and in the T's, it's the Ford, followed by 2 GTIs in formation flying there, and Nathan just allowing the Stigler through.
Yeah, nice to see the Castrol John Cooper Works Mini back in the race. I don't know what those gremlins were, but yeah, they're all fit and ready to go. They'll be the first to tell you they had their hand on this championship, particularly Gavin Cronje, the Ginger Ninja. They had it. It was so close, and then it went wrong. I mean, that's motor racing for you.
That's what happens, unfortunately, when those wheels turn, things can go wrong, and usually do. Hopefully next season we're going to see them back and as competitive as they were all of 2013. Here is our champion heading into Clubhouse all over the back of Henny G, and it looks like he wants to make this possibly an awesome way to go out on the season, and to take that final victory just puts you into a very firm seat for 2014.
Yeah, they also want to keep the cost down. They don't want too much rubbing out there as well, or anything awkward to happen, because otherwise that's an extra expense. So, you know, the championship's done and dusted. Everybody's going to be on their best behavior out there. That means everybody.
Special production guys we're talking about, mate. Let's wait and see if your prediction comes right. The last race of the season and still a victory up for grabs. These guys are going to hold nothing back. Trust me on this one. That's what it's all about. It's what it's been all about all season long. And we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here as they come to the closing stages of lap 1.
Well, let me take you back to Cape Town, the season before, the round before. And it was a huge clean sweep, basically, for BMW. They had an outstanding round in Cape Town. And now, as it stands right now, race number 1 and 2, it's all been BMW.
Now looking for a third victory on the day. That's a great way to end the season. And, of course, that will bode well for ADF Motorsport as we see a maneuver there from Fourie sneaking through on the Subaru, and behind them it is flying Michael Stephen. But as I said, Michael Stephen in Chop Sapuka's car, and thank goodness there was 2 cars in that team. Otherwise we might have seen a slightly different end to the story here as Melville Priest, his stablemate, goes around the outside in the third of those S4s.
No problems there. Michael van Rooyen in the mix in Class T, also disappointing season. McGann showed so much potential, didn't he, Greg?
Dev is just getting better and better every single time he gets behind the wheel of this car, and as you can see with Big Boss Auto behind them, they certainly are going to develop that car and the second car by the time we get into the 2014 season. Looking forward to seeing who's going to be behind the wheel of that second Renault Megane.
Other thing is news that we heard Melville Priest won't be racing next season. He's gone to concentrate on business and running a business. So that's going to be a sad loss, because that Olin Sports backed Mueller Audi showed a massive potential, certainly in the latter stages of the season. So we're going to miss him too.
We are going to miss him, but we're also going to look forward to who's going to fill that seat, Steve.
Yeah.
It opens up an opportunity for one of the youngsters coming through, And when I say one of the youngsters, he was there on the day. Calvin van der Linde, possibly stepping into an Audi for next year.
You never know. That would be fantastic. I mean, he's on an international stage, has showed his worth. Remarkable. I mean, driving talent in this country, second to none.
That's for sure. No doubt about it. As we get into the bowl again, and pressure coming from one of our best talents, and definitely a future champion here. He's putting pressure onto that BMW. He's the meat in the sandwich between those two Afrox BMWs, and I'm talking about Gennaro Bonafini in the Ferraro Audi.
Absolutely. That's the aggression I want to see from Bonafini. Not overstepping the mark, mind you, but that's the aggression. And we know he can pedal, and he's got a great package too.
He goes side by side, trying to find a way around the outside of the BMW. Here comes a battle on the inside of him, though, and it's a BMW sneaking through. Wow, Ferrari and Groenewald side by side to the fastest part of the circuit. And a Class A car, probably close to the 240-kilometer-an-hour mark.
I was wondering at that stage down the straight when Ferrari was going to give Henry Groenewald a break and give him some gap.
There's no gap given here, but that's for sure. Lap 3 of 12, GTIs, then the Mini. Here comes the Williams Hunt Chevy Cruze sitting down in 6th place, but the battle at the front is between Formato and Thompson. Means business. Lee Thompson wants this final victory.
Well, let's also talk about going back in the season as well. Sean Duminy in the Ford. That is not his car because if you remember at Swartkop, he rolled that car, his original car. He rolled that. It was decimated. And now he's driving in an older model version of the Ford and not really competing on the same level that he's been accustomed to. But he's very lucky to be alive. He had an awesome shunt here in 2013.
We'll go back into the bowl again, and onto the braking markers comes the second of the Minis. Cronier looking for a way past the Stiglet. Oh, little rubbings racing coming out of there. I think there was a slight little tap. Wasn't much of a rub, but the two of them are side by side as they head towards 13. And yeah, I think that's a better option there, Stig. Just pull out of it slightly, buddy. Yeah. Don't put that car into the wall right now.
Yeah, you've got third under the belt here. There's no need to do any more damage to the car as well. So, disappointing for the Minis, to say the least. They had a hand on the championship. Gavin will be disappointed. Lee Thompson. You know, they've had moments that have been absolutely brilliant. And if you remember last year when we debuted at the Minis at Pakisa, everybody thought that they were going to be the car to beat.
They certainly were, but unfortunately they were found wanting at the end as the GTIs took the lead and maintained the lead heading into the final round and then wrapped it all up. Speaking of maintaining leads, it's not quite the lead he's got just yet, but he is in an epic battle here between the two S4s. Melville, although he's stepping out of the seat, is definitely not going to hold back here with the potential of a win and just sneaks into the S's in the lead. And wow, Quattro drifting into the S's at Kyalami. You don't get better than that, bud.
How do you call it? Guile and experience versus youth.
Exactly, and normally the youth have got no fear, but when it comes to the kind of experience that Melville Priest has got, he's just able to use that ever so slightly to his advantage right now to keep out Gennaro Bonafini. But Bonafini is having to go defensive because all of a sudden Subaru's on his tail.
I think I've got it. It's guile and experience versus youth and stupidity.
Yeah, I like you to tell that in front of Gennaro Bonafini.
Oh,
especially when he's in that kind of form. Lee Thompson, though, probably one of the best front-wheel drive drivers and rear-wheel drive drivers in the country. And that's why he's able to pull a little bit of a gap out here on Formato, who seems to be slowing. Gary Formato is definitely slowing. There goes the second Mini. That is Cronier now sneaking through. Oh, this is a pity. This is not the way you want to end a season.
Yeah, that car sounds rough right now. It's got a terminal problem, I'm sure, but it's not the way Gary would have wanted to finish the season on a sadder note, to say the least.
And we know that he'll be back and high-flying in the Ford team. And, of course, his teammate, Sean Duminy, doing an epic season as well after that big crash. Stiglet now up to third. That means Nate probably down in about fourth place. Maybe he's dropped back to fight it out with Michael van Rooyen and Devin Robertson.
So, the Centro Golf GTI, the Stiglet, young Jack Jabert, remarkable season for him, and what a way to finish. Graham Nathan, the reigning champion, 2013 champion, and a good result for Jack Jabert into the pits right now. Gary Formato in the Eco Ford. So,
if you ever wanted confirmation of third place, that was it.
Yeah.
Jabert going past Formato as he pulled into pit lane. So Jacques Jabert is going to make it Indy Oil GTIs 1 and 3 in this Bridgestone Production Class T Championship.
Well, they... Yeah, you really can't fight against that. They've been a consistent package as well. And Graham, although he's had his gremlins, has a consistent season as well. Problems here maybe for Priest on the outside, but the BMW, look at this. I mean, it's 1 and 2, 2 races under the belt right now, and they're going for the third.
Looks like they got it in the bag, actually. The way that they're flying right now, I don't think anybody's going to catch that BMW at the front. Although second place is still up for grabs. And here we go again. Bonafini now fighting with Henny G. Oh! Oh, you don't get closer than that through turn 2. And that is to the limit with some rubbing, heading to 3. They're still side by side for 4, and they might even be 3 abreast here as Michael Stephen comes on the inside. Oh, this is brilliant stuff.
Fantastic. And on their way to the Goodyear Bridge, and then they'll come into Sunset up to Clubhouse. And there's Chops. Well, that's actually Michael Stephen in Chops' car. That's the confusion because of the red mirrors. But we know that is Michael Stephen, the reigning 2013 champion.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row for him as well. So a magnificent effort from Terry Moss Racing and the Engine Extreme Audi team. They've done a great job. And as I said earlier on, that's another title in the bag for Michael Stephen. Man, I think he's just racking them up left, right and centre. Every single championship he's entered, he's won an SA title in.
Well, it's an impressive team because if I'm not mistaken, Terry Moss has also done it.
Nathan slowing. So Graham Nathan, while he's got it all wrapped up, he just has to finish the race, really.
Yeah.
And in fact, he doesn't have to do that. He's just circulating and will probably come across the line to take the checkered flag, although he is now right out of it in terms of the final race victory up for grabs here at Kyalami.
Smoke out of the Subaru, that could be a problem, and that could elevate Michael Stephen, who moves to second.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I don't think he's going to take the victory. I'm not quite sure he's got enough in the car to catch that BMW at the front end of Van der Linde's. But second place has now been gifted to him, as it looks like the Subaru might be ailing ever so slightly. A bit of smoke out of the back of it, although he's, whatever the problem is, he sorted it out very quickly as they came into 13. Watching the background, yes, he's still with Michael Stephen, not giving it up at all. But a superb effort and the final race victory headed the way of Afrox Pertec BMW's team, and of course the driver, Etienne van der Linde.
And a clean sweep for BMW today.
Super effort there from the BMW team, side by side across the line, but it is Michael Stephen who eventually comes across the stripe in second place ahead of Henny Groenewald. This is the man they all had to try and beat in the final race of Class T. Lee Thompson, you can see Formato got back on track, and he's going to finish up in the top 7 positions. But Lee Thompson has the final bite at the cake, and you can see him just slowing down ever so slightly, giving his team all the credit that's due, and waiting for his teammate, in fact. Are they going to come across the line side by side? No, not quite. But the Ginger Ninja was right there with him.
Photo shoot opportunity.
Oh, for sure. That was well planned. Lovely work there, Lee Thompson. Brilliant stuff. But a great season comes to a climax here at Kyalami, and we wrap things up in the Bridgestone production cars.
So 9 rounds of scintillating racing across all over the country for the 2013 season. It's been outstanding. World-class racing with world-class drivers, Class A, Class T, confirming our champions right now.
Race results going to Etienne van der Linde, but the championship, as you said, Steve, goes to Michael Stephen in the Engine Extreme Terry Moss Racing Audi S4. Henny Groenewald eventually in third place ahead of Gennaro Bonafide. Then was Jan Ferree, Melville Priest, and Chop Sapuka.
Confirmation of those results in our main theme piece, race number 3. It was Lee Thompson in the Castrol John Cooper Works Mini, Gavin Cronje 1 and 2, Jack Joubert in third, Michael van Rooyen in the Cruise, and then Graham Nathan, Gary Formato, Devin Robertson, Ryan Cooper, and Sean Dooman. 3 championship titles back-to-back. He was a reigning champion coming into 2013. For you, on a personal level, and for the team, an outstanding result. Well done, Michael Stephen. You are the 2013, the brand new champion this year, but it hasn't always been easy.
No, certainly not, and I think today proved that. You know, it's been a long year, a tough year, but the team pulled through. I think Terry won 3 championships in a row in West Banks. You know, so it's twice in the team that we've done that. But I've got to say a big thanks to the sponsors, Engine, Terry Moss Racing, Audi, Sorgo-san, all the other sponsors. You know, without them, none of this would be possible. And then also to the guys behind the scenes, you know, the mechanics that put in a huge effort at the workshop, at the race weekends, and, you know, the results speak for themselves. And then also, you know, to all the fan supporters, my wife, you know, all their support, you know, none of it would be possible without them either. So, ended off a fantastic year. The last race was brilliant, and we look forward to 2014.
Etienne van der Linde, race win in the final theme piece. Gratifying, no doubt.
Yes, I think we ended the year on a high note. That's all we could have really hoped for. I mean, the championship was a long shot. Yeah, we gave it our all, and we came short slightly, but yeah, there's always next time. And yeah, I'd just like to thank Team Afrox, Pertec, BMW for giving me a great car all season. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back next year fighting for the championship.
Winning the final race here today with double the points. It was an outstanding drive from the John Cooper Works Mini driver, Lee Thompson. Gratifying, no doubt.
Yeah, no, we finished off this season the same way we did last year with a dominant win and a second. A little bit of a downside. It's a pity Gavin couldn't get the championship for Mini. We had a little bit of bad luck, and you have to finish everything to try and stay on top. But nevertheless, well done to Graham Nathan on his championship again this year, and big thanks to Castrol, Akrapovic, and ADF Motorsport for preparing very good cars.
Yeah, sterling drive, and certainly the team and the support and the mechanics have done an outstanding job for you all season. And somewhere in the middle of that season, as we got halfway through the season, we felt, as we all felt, that this could have been new breaking ground for Mini, but wasn't to be, Gavin.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's you got to race to the end, and we had a few niggles, and that put pay to it. We came here with a chance, a mathematical chance. We gave it a good go, but yeah, it didn't play in my favour today. Hopefully next year.
When you've got the most points, it means you are the champion. And there it is. Michael Stephen, 240, wins it out. Etienne van der Linde, Johan Free in third. Melville Priest, Gennaro Bonafide, Chopsapuga, Henny Crudeveld, Richard Pinard.
In Class T, it was a battle royal, and of course won out by the man who uses the best. Graham Nathan in the Indy Oil Volkswagen Golf, beating out Gavin Cronier. Jacques Joubert sneaking through into third place.
The manufacturer's points, there's 4 Audis in this championship, and there it is, 664. Volkswagen second, BMW third, with Mini fourth. Race winners on the day confirmed. Winner race 1, Johan Free. Winner race 2 and 3, Etienne van der Linde. Clean sweep for BMW.
Class T, the winners, of course, split by the 2 manufacturers. Race 1 going to Graham Nathan, 2 to his teammate, and 3 to Lee Thompson in the Mini. Congratulations, Michael Stephen, 2011, 2012, and 2013 National Bridgestone Production Car Champion, Class A. Graham Nathan does the same thing in 2013 as he did in 2012 and wraps up Class T.
For more information on our racing, www.spcc.co.za, or tag us on Facebook and Twitter. That wraps up the 2013 racing season for Bridgestone Production Cars. And what a season it's been. Dreams have been won and lost, and champions have been crowned as drivers look forward to 2014 and the hope of what it might hold. Congratulations, Michael Stephen, our 2013 Class A National Champion. And Graham Nathan, our 2013 Class T National Champion. That's it from behind the microphone. Until next time, I'm Steve Bishop with Matt Smith and Greg Maloney. This is Bridgestone Production Cars.